Now, what would you do if you knew that the state's land management was responsible for the devastating wildfires that left the landscape charred and the soil barren? Now, not just any landscape, but the land that you and your ancestors had cared for and protected for more than 40,000 years. Now, this was the very question facing Australia's indigenous Kuku Taipan people when its elders initiated a community GIS mapping project to persuade responsible agencies to change their tactics. Hi, this is Armando DeBon Jr. reporting from Laguna Beach, California, and today we're exploring how participatory GIS could prevent beach closures. To enlighten us, we have our guest Clarke, who is currently studying innovative ways to use technology in conservation. Now, Karen, what on earth is GIS, and what did the Kuku Taipan do with it?
Let's start with GPS.
Now, that stands for Global Positioning Systems. Yes, I think most people are familiar with that.
GPS gives you your approximate location, but in latitude and longitude. If you want to see a spatial representation of your location, you need GIS mapping tools. One of the most popular is Google Earth, which superimposes images from satellites and aerial photography onto a three-dimensional globe that you manipulate by adding data. In this case, your GPS coordinates.
Oh, so GIS is what creates 3D maps.
And more importantly, interactive decision support maps. Because we have such influence over the environment and it over us, science and policy that do not place collaboration at the center of conservation fail. As reported by researchers including Kuku Taipan elder Tommy George Sr., this is what happened in Australia. He led the way in collecting data through video and images to map how traditional knowledge and spiritual perspectives had protected the environment and people.
Oh, by the people, for the people. Participatory GIS sounds a lot like practicing democracy in conservation.
Giving a voice to the people most affected by natural resource and land use decisions ensures that land, water, food, and quality of life are preserved for the good of all. The Kuku Taipan shared their knowledge and methodology for participatory GIS beyond their own communities through outreach and educational films.
Now, didn't you say that the school children had videotaped elders to pass down traditional knowledge to the next generation? I mean, there's even a video of Elder Tommy George Sr. himself on YouTube. Now, isn't that right?
Yes, I think our listeners would like that.
Now tell me, what should we be doing with GIS here in Laguna Beach?
Well, we have 3 marine protected areas right off our coast, and by helping restore the kelp beds just offshore, they have protected our beaches from erosion during high surf and big winter storms.
So these marine protected areas benefit beachgoers and all of our local businesses relying on tourism.
Yes, and that's great. But the problem is that marine protected areas are unable to control what happens outside their boundaries. We still have beach closures due to sewage leaks and fecal contamination that flow into the ocean with runoff from irrigation and storms. What we need is data to understand how local communities perceive their relationship with the environment. What do they value? What do they know and do about preserving native habitat and species? And how can they participate in decisions affecting coastal health?
I think I see where you're heading with this. By sharing answers to those questions with GIS mapping of this region, we have a decision-making tool that reflects the needs of our community and environment.
There are many open-source, web-based GIS tools to help people become involved in decisions to improve protection of the marine resources. One of the most popular is Marine Map. You can also find others on the websites for California's Marine Life Protection Act, the West Coast Ecosystem-Based Management Network, and the Center for Ocean Solutions.
Well, thank you, Karen, for taking us on this virtual technology tour from Australia to our own backyard. You have opened my eyes to a whole new world beyond Google Earth. and I can't wait to see Participatory GIS go live right here in Laguna Beach. Thank you.